Welcome, deep divers. Ever felt, swamped by writing advice? Or maybe struggled to get that creative project off the ground?
hmm
Wondering how to really refine your craft and build that confidence?
Yeah, it's a common feeling.
Well, today we're embarking on a deep dive designed just for you. We're focusing on how we navigate feedback, deadlines,
Right, the external stuff.
exactly, and also how we cultivate our internal creative landscape. And finally, how to harness some new tools to sort of amplify our unique voice.
And our mission for this deep dive, it's really to extract actionable wisdom from, well, a truly impressive stack of Write Well newsletters. These are by Angela Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Prolific writer.
Incredibly prolific. For those maybe unfamiliar, she's a veteran writer, over 165 books to her name, children's, adult fiction, nonfiction, you name it.
Wow.
So we're going to give you concise, practical takeaways on, well, everything from giving constructive criticism
Always tricky.
to leveraging new tools like AI for character development.
Hmm.
The goal is really to help you rethink some of your creative processes, maybe for better results.
Okay, let's unpack this right away then. When you're part of a creative community, giving feedback is, well, it's inevitable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But what's the polite yet, truly effective way to tell another writer their work isn't quite ready? You want to be honest.
But not crush their spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a delicate art, definitely. And the sandwich method is often cited, and for good reason. But the real insight there, I think, is its psychological structure.
How so?
Well, you begin with genuine praise for what actually works.
So that creates
It's an
moment.
open reception,
Yeah.
makes them more willing to listen.
Right, lowers the defenses.
Precisely. Then you offer concrete suggestions for improvement, not just vague things like make it better, but actionable steps.
Specific examples.
Specific examples, yes. And finally, you conclude with another layer of praise for their effort, their potential. This technique, even in casual critique groups, makes the criticism much more likely to be internalized positively and acted upon.
And what if they still push back?
Well, if someone still insists their work is ready after that feedback, you can then ask, gently, do you want to be remembered for something good or something great?
Ooh, that's a powerful question.
It often sparks a deeper, more honest reflection, I find.
That's a really effective approach for a sensitive issue.
Hmm.
Okay, speaking of getting things done, let's explore an interesting dynamic. The power of deadlines.
Yes, the deadline dynamo.
You might know about Hamilton, the musical, but the story of its creation, it vividly illustrates this point.
Oh, it's a fantastic example. Lin-Manuel Miranda, he actually wrote the first song, Alexander Hamilton, way back in 2009.
Okay.
It took him 2 more years to finish the second song, My Shot.
2 years for one song, wow.
Yeah. But after performing My Shot to, great acclaim, the director Tommy Kail gave him a challenge. He said, let's pick a date 6 months from now
Just 6 months.
and just write 2 songs a month. That was the target. Miranda agreed, and bam, he delivered.
Amazing.
It really proves that old adage, if it weren't for deadlines, nothing would get done. It just underscores how setting realistic, self-imposed deadlines and really committing to them can unlock immense productivity.
The Hamilton story really drives that home. But, okay, while feedback and deadlines can be helpful, there's a flip side, right? Especially with group feedback.
Definitely.
Let's talk about something called critique group dependency, or CGD.
CGD, yes. It's a very real phenomenon, and it can actually stifle a writer's unique voice. It kind of reminds me of that old Reader's Digest anecdote
Oh, yeah.
about the woman who always cut the ends off her ham before baking it. Why? Because her mother did. And her mother did it because her mother's baking dish was too small.
Huh. So, adopting rules without knowing why.
Exactly. We sometimes adopt rules without understanding their original logic, or if they even apply anymore. And critique groups can fall into this trap. They can act like, well, the blind leading the blind, sometimes insisting on rules that might not fit your specific work.
I can see how that could get distorted. But isn't there still some benefit to group feedback? Maybe for writers just starting out, they might need any feedback they can get?
There can be, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the danger of CGD kicks in when you start blindly following the group consensus, especially when it goes against your own gut feeling.
Right.
Or worse, you incorporate really distorted advice into professional materials. I've actually seen writers put mini book reports in their proposals because a group told them to.
Oh, no.
When publishers really just want comparative titles for marketing, it's a classic example of advice being misunderstood and misapplied.
Yeah.
And often, these critiquers, well, they aren't editors. They don't have purchasing power. Their experience might be limited or based on outdated industry practices.
So, beyond just getting bad advice, what's the sort of deeper psychological impact on a writer if they fall into this dependency trap?
It's significant, really.
Hmm.
A writer can end up second-guessing every single line. It just erodes confidence. And while writing has rules, sure, it's also an art.
Right.
And sometimes art has to overrule the science, you know. You need to know the rules, absolutely, but also know when to break them with style, with aplomb.
Makes sense.
CGD can also lead to overexposing your work, picking at it until, as Angela Hunt puts it quite vividly, your amazing idea looks like a pampered Persian left out in the rain.
Oh, that's a great image. Talks the magic out of it.
It really does. Often, honestly, a single good critique partner, someone matched to your skill level, is far more beneficial than a whole crowd of voices swirling in your head.
So the takeaway here seems to be critically evaluate all advice. Make sure it genuinely resonates with your vision for the piece.
Exactly. Trust your gut, too.
Okay, let's pivot now to something else that often feels like a major pitfall. Procrastination.
The P word.
Who among us hasn't, frittered away a morning on emails or cleaning the grout or spider solitaire instead of tackling that big looming task? It feels like the enemy, right?
It absolutely does feel that way. And the dangers of, let's call it avoidant procrastination, are really well documented. University of Calgary professor Piers Steele did extensive research.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, his work is fascinating. He linked procrastination to a staggering 16 negative health outcomes.
16.
16. Ranging from mental health challenges like depression and anxiety to actual physical ailments, unhealthy lifestyle behaviors, poor sleep, inactivity, tobacco use.
Wow, it's broad.
It really is. The key takeaway isn't just the sheer number, but how pervasive and insidious this kind of procrastination can be. It just silently erodes our well-being and productivity across so many dimensions.
16 outcomes really paints a picture of a broad impact. And why the big surge in procrastinators? Is it getting worse?
Well, Skills research indicates a huge jump from maybe 5% of Americans identifying as procrastinators back in 1978 to around 26% today.
That's a massive increase.
It is. And the reason seems pretty clear.
Yes.
More distractions. Way more distractions. Instead of working, we have endless digital diversions right at our fingertips.
Phones, internet, games.
Exactly. Steele even estimated that the U.S. gross national product might rise by $50 billion if our computers just lost that little icon that signals new email.
50 billion just from email notifications.
Crazy, right? So yeah, that avoidant procrastination is definitely detrimental. No question.
An important point. Okay, but now for a fascinating twist. What if procrastination isn't always the enemy? Could it actually be a creative ally if used strategically?
It absolutely can be. Well, we definitely need to avoid that harmful avoidant kind we just talked about. There are undeniable benefits to strategic delays. Planned procrastination, if you will.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, for creativity, think about it. If you hit a wall with a really perplexing problem in your writing.
Happens all the time.
Right. Stepping away for a genuinely mindless activity, taking a walk, playing a simple video game, even filing a fingernail. It allows your subconscious to keep working on it in the background.
Ah, the back burner effect.
Exactly. And interestingly, the more mindless the activity, apparently the more brain cells are freed up to find that elusive answer you're looking for.
I hadn't thought about strategic procrastination quite like that. It kind of reframes the whole thing, doesn't it?
It really does. And it extends beyond creativity, too. Think about emotional situations. Problems that seem totally insurmountable at night often look much more manageable after a good night's sleep.
True. Sleep on it.
Right. Raging tempers cool down. Grief eases with time, which is why people who've lost a spouse are often advised to wait, maybe a year before making huge life changes.
Let the dust settle.
Precisely. And even intellectual growth can be helped by a bit of delay. Knowledge is often unappreciated until we can put it in the proper setting, give it context.
Like history in school versus later in life.
Perfect example. Studying history in high school versus suddenly being fascinated by it as an adult when you have more life experience. College professors often mention this. They praise continuing education students for how deeply they engage. Compared to younger students who sometimes, as one professor put it, just gargle the information instead of drinking deeply. There's even St. Augustine in his Confessions, praying, "Give me chastity and continence," but not yet.
Huh. Even saints procrastinated strategically. So, okay, what does this mean for you, the listener? This isn't just a license to, endlessly scroll TikTok instead of writing.
Exactly. It's not about giving yourself permission for avoidance. It means evaluating your to-do lists and deadlines carefully.
Yeah.
Do what you must when you should, but also consciously allow time for your subconscious to percolate.
Percolate. I like that.
That's procrastination made perfect. It's about balance and conscious choice, not just falling into distraction. It really is all about intentionality.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears now. We've talked workflow. Let's talk deepening the actual craft. Characters.
Yeah.
How do we build characters that really leap off the page, feel absolutely real, not just, cardboard cutouts?
Right. Well, one incredibly powerful tool, surprisingly analytical but really useful, is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the MBTI.
Ah, Myers-Briggs. I know people who swear by it.
It can be really insightful for character work. It assigns each person 4 letters based on 4 key dimensions.
Okay, break it down for us.
Yeah, first you got extrovert E or introvert I. Basically, how does someone get energized? From being around people or from quiet time alone?
Got it.
Second, intuitor N or sensor S. This is about how they primarily gather information and make decisions. Is it gut feelings, possibilities, the big picture, N? Or is it concrete facts, past experience, what's real and tangible, S?
N versus S.
Third, thinker, T or feeler. What's their dominant response, especially under stress or facing tragedy? Logic, objective analysis, T or empathy, values, impact on people, F. Thinker or feeler.
Right. And finally, judger, J, or
Hmm.
perceiver, P. This is about their orientations to the outside world. Do they like structure, plans, closure, J? Or are they more flexible, spontaneous, adaptable, keeping options open, P, the filer versus the piler?
Filer versus piler, I like that. Okay, that breaks personality down into some clear components. Can you give us a quick example, maybe?
Absolutely. Angela Hunt did this exercise, analyzing a character like Jesus Yeshua through this lens.
Okay, interesting.
Based on scripture, his routine solitude points to I introvert. His intuitive decisions, knowing things without needing external evaluation, suggests N intuitor. His profound compassion clearly indicates F feeler, and his organized actions, like gathering leftovers after feeding the multitude, points to J judger,
So INFJ.
INFJ. And then if you look up common descriptions of the INFJ type, you find terms like the advocate or the idealist. They're known for deep compassion, idealism, quiet conviction. It aligns remarkably well. It gives you a starting point, a core understanding.
That's fascinating. Okay, so how can you, our listener, use this for your own storytelling?
Well, it's a fantastic head start for your major characters. Your protagonist, your antagonist, maybe the love interest. Knowing their potential MBTI type gives you a foundation for their core personality.
Beyond just basic traits.
Oh yeah, it can even spark plot developments. Think about the inherent friction between types. For instance, research suggests INTJ women might sometimes struggle to find close female friends, as many women tend to lean towards feeling F.
Ah, potential conflict right there.
Exactly. Or an INFJ man, who might be naturally sensitive, could develop a really tough outer facade as a coping mechanism. These personality frictions create such rich story material automatically.
That really does make characters feel so much more grounded and, well, believable. Okay, so beyond their inner workings, let's talk description. How do you make a description powerful, telling, not just, a list of hair color, eye color?
Right, the laundry list description. Yeah, truly powerful description often ignores a lot of those surface details. Instead, it focuses on one telling detail, a single detail that reveals much more about the character or the situation.
A telling detail. Example.
Okay, from James Collins' novel Beginner's Greek, he describes an office secretary. Not her height or build, but simply having brassy red hair, black eyebrows, and one discolored front tooth.
Ooh, okay. What does that tell us?
Instantly, that single detail, the discolored tooth, implies things about her probable education level, her income, maybe a certain earnestness or desire to please despite limitations, all without saying any of it directly. We, the readers, make assumptions, and in fiction, that works beautifully.
So it's about what the detail implies, much more than just what it shows on the surface.
Precisely. Here's another one from the same book. The protagonist, Peter, is describing a young woman on a plane. He focuses on her small ear, beige in color, that appeared almost edible, like a biscuit.
Edible, like a biscuit. That's
Okay.
specific.
It is. And it tells us less about the woman, actually, and more about Peter. It reveals his background. He probably knows old painting manuals where such descriptions appear. And it reveals his intense attraction. He's essentially caressing her with his eyes, as the saying goes. It puts us right in his perspective.
That's deep third-person point of view,
Yeah,
shown through description.
exactly. Or one more quick one. Frida McFadden's the boyfriend. The narrator notices a woman's carotid pulse perfectly.
Whoa, okay, that's intense.
Right. It immediately makes you wonder about the narrator. Are they a medical student? A vampire? Whatever they are, it implies an immediate, intense interest, maybe even something predatory. It creates instant intrigue from one detail.
So you don't need to describe everything.
Not at all. Often less is more. You mentioned a sag-bellied rat scurries across the floor in a prison scene.
And the reader fills in the cold, the damp, the gray.
Exactly. Let the reader's imagination do some work. The exception, of course, is maybe unfamiliar settings, fantasy worlds, deep historical periods where you might need a bit more grounding description. But even then, it's often best shown through action rather than static lists.
These examples really stick with you. It's about choosing those truly impactful brushstrokes.
Okay, listeners, examine your own descriptions. Are you finding those telling details? Now, let's try and bring some of this together. Can these new AI tools like ChatGPT actually help us develop these compelling characters we've just been discussing?
They absolutely can. As a powerful aid, definitely. Angela Hunt shared a fascinating experiment she did using ChatGPT. She wanted to develop the biblical matriarchs Rachel and Leah more deeply for a novel.
Okay.
So first, she assigned them MBTI types based on her interpretation. Rachel as an ESFP, the lively performer type, and Leah as an INFJ, the quiet idealist.
Opposites, essentially, very much so. Then she simply fed ChatGPT this information, the types, the basic biblical context, and asked it to generate character insights. And the results were apparently incredible, really detailed.
What sort of insights did it spit out?
Well, for Leah, the INFJ, ChatGPT highlighted things like her spiritual yearning and protective love as core strengths, but also her struggles, like feeling invisible next to her sister and her tendency towards internalizing pain. It even framed her beautifully as the moon to Rachel's sun, emphasizing her quiet, deep devotion.
Wow, that's quite nuanced. And for Rachel?
For Rachel, the ESFP, ChatGPT focused on her charismatic, love-at-first-sight connection with Jacob, but also her deep-seated spotlight struggle, that rivalry with Leah, her fear of being overlooked, her emotional volatility. It pinpointed her core conflict, stemming from her ESFP nature. If I am not adored, am I still worthy?
That's a powerful core conflict.
Isn't it? And it even generated a side-by-side emotional arcs chart for both sisters, providing a potential framework for plot development, all stemming from those initial MBTI prompts.
That's incredibly insightful stuff. So just to be clear, ChatGPT isn't like writing the book for you,
Oh, absolutely not.
but it's giving you these amazing structural and emotional frameworks, things you might not have even considered otherwise.
Exactly that. The advice, and I think it's sound advice, is to use AI as a starting point. Use it for brainstorming character arcs, exploring plot ideas, getting past blocks. It can provide a really rich foundation, but always, always make it your own.
Right. Don't just copy paste.
Please don't. Its writing can still be quite generic if you let it run wild. It's about leveraging its analytical power to kickstart your own creativity, not replace it.
Okay, so maybe as a piece of homework for you, our listener, try this out. Analyze your main characters using MBTI or even just core traits. Then introduce them to ChatGPT with some basic plot context. See what detailed character arcs and insights it might generate for you.
Yeah, give it a whirl. It could genuinely unlock entirely new dimensions in your story you hadn't thought of.
What a journey we've been on today. Seriously, from mastering the psychology behind good feedback.
The sandwich, but more.
Right. And harnessing that deadline power like Hamilton showed us, then diving into the surprising upsides of strategic procrastination
And procrastination made perfect.
and how Myers-Briggs can seriously deepen your characters. Plus, those techniques for powerful, telling descriptions, and finally, leveraging AI as a creative brainstorming partner.
Indeed. And I think the core message running through all of this is that knowledge is really most valuable when it's truly understood and then applied. It's all about continuous learning, sure, but also critically assessing the advice you get and ultimately really trusting your own unique creative voice.
Couldn't agree more. And so, as you carry all these tools and insights forward into your own creative process, here's a final thought to mull over. What's one area, maybe in your work, maybe even just in your life, where you've been relying on grandma's too small ham pan without even realizing it? Some old rule or habit you follow without questioning?
Ooh, good question.
What new approach, maybe inspired by today's deep dive, will you try this week to break free from that old pan and let your truly unique voice shine? Keep diving deep, everyone, into your passions and your projects.